Hey guys, welcome back to the Avoiding Broke podcast with me, Jermaine. And guys, firstly, let me wish you a very, very happy Easter. We have got a beautiful day here in London. The sun is shining. I know the neighbours are out, and a lot of people are celebrating long weekends, getting a bit of family time together. And interestingly, we are kind of on this path to getting out of lockdown. And it's really where I think a lot of attention is being focused because we're starting to see the kind of widespread use of vaccinations. We're seeing more businesses start to talk about opening up. You're hearing about crowds being allowed in certain events. And so this whole post-lockdown, post-very strong isolation that we've been facing seems like it's on the path to easing. Not kind of going away, but certainly easing. And so, guys, during this time, I think there is an awfully big opportunity for all of us to kind of do that reflection for ourselves before we go into the next phase of whatever plan we've been putting together. So, for regular listeners of Avoiding Broke, you'll know that we're very much keen on making sure we've been using the time that's just recently passed, this kind of last year and a bit, to really try to get our mindset into a good place, to physically try and make some improvements, to spiritually commit to uplifting ourselves, and importantly, to also be fortifying our finances. Making good moves where we can, making good investments where we can, and then preparing for opportunities like now. And they've been there, guys. I think there's been a lot that we could have got involved in. We've spoken a lot more about cryptocurrency. We thought creatively about where we could be making, say, things like property investments. We've asked questions about the health of the stock market, and those are still good questions to be asking. We're still, as a community, thinking smartly about holding cash, why we would hold it, why we may not. And right now, guys, with this easing of this whole kind of lockdown situation, some of what we've been working on has maybe been under a bit of challenge, or it will be under a bit of challenge, because you're starting to see kind of more socializing, which in itself brings different expenses and different kind of social commitment. You're seeing a lot of people talking about booking up holidays. And if you think to yourself, there could be a big raft of discretionary spend that we might jump into. Now's a good time, guys, to kind of do a bit of a money MOT and just think about the decisions you're going to make in these next few months. I think, guys, there's a really interesting tension that we could be under because we've got governments globally who are very clear on the need to reopen local economies and of course national economies in order to stimulate growth. And without it, us as people, we're struggling because we're obviously more isolated, but you've also got a lot of small business under a huge amount of pressure, because they're not making any money. I mean, many of them have actually been closed for a good while, and those that have been open aren't making much money at all. That's not sustainable. And so you're going to start seeing a much bigger push encouraging us to go out and spend money in places once things open. Now, I'm a huge advocate of local spending, of keeping it local, and of helping the little guys. At the same time, we've also just got to kind of, I think, just be a little bit smart about the long tail of our spending. So not necessarily wanting to kind of front load a lot of expense, but actually think we need to kind of flow our expenses over a longer period of time, give ourselves more of a chance to see any kind of further COVID-related shocks, and then continue to change and evolve our behaviour. A really interesting example of the shocks, I think, is where you've got places like, I think it's France that just went back into a lockdown. And I spoke to a friend in Germany a few weeks ago, and they'd kind of gone into kind of stricter situation. That's a really good example of where we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves whilst people are still figuring things out at a macro level. In the UK here, we'd also seen some airlines jump and encourage people to go and book flights to different destinations. And a few days after, we saw the government centrally come out and say overseas travel for holiday is not allowed, and that was looking to be moderated. Guys, the whole point is it's tempting for us to kind of lead with our emotion and jump in and do all of these things that we've been looking forward to doing. Honestly, I feel the same kind of tension and often want to go and jump and do just fun things, basically, with people that I enjoy their company. But now I think that's the perfect time just to kind of take a few moments, do a bit of a check of yourself, reflect a little bit on the behaviour, and just think, you know what, maybe just give yourself a kind of a couple months to see how things play out, or if you want to make a particular decision, maybe make it in a smaller way, maybe make less of a commitment and give yourself some more flexible options. I think that's going to be a really important one, guys, over the next few months. So really important that I share that whole kind of money MOT. In the UK, an MOT is the annual check that we do of all our motor vehicles to make sure they're roadworthy. So when you do your money MOT, that is your checkup of your money and your financial decisions to make sure it is life worthy. I think, guys, that's the thought that I really want to leave you with today. As we go through and we've been facing challenges and you've been super strong in making sure that you continue to have the mindset to help you get through challenging times, we still need to take stock of the challenges that we're facing and the behaviours that we need to support ourselves into the future. Like I've shared, it's a big thing I've been doing recently. I've been doing a lot more meditation recently. I've been embracing this whole mindset of a future champion, if you want to call it that. Embracing that a little bit more and starting to define the behaviours I need now that are going to help me build my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, and my 10-year plus plan. There are all stock behaviours that we build now, guys. We can all do it. We should always continuously evolve it. And as ever, Team Avoiding Broke are right here with you. So guys, look, it's brilliant to have you with us over Easter. We're soon going to be jumping in the garden to go and enjoy some time with our little boy, who you can maybe he's just woken up from his nap. We're going to enjoy the sunshine, take some time together, and continue to do this kind of money MOT to make sure we're making great decisions and we're building great behaviours to get us ready for the future. As ever, guys, we're going to be with you next week. We look forward to spending some time with you. If you've got any comments or questions, you find us on all social media at Avoiding Broke. And I'm not sure if Leanne mentioned last week, but we've recently just come out with a second book, which is called You Can Succeed. It's available on Amazon, and it really covers some of the mental models and frameworks that we utilize. Really, it's supposed to be quick, accessible quotes, thoughts, and affirmations that we utilize to really set ourselves for the success that we're trying to build. It's there and it's available to all of you. Search our names or search You Can Succeed. And if you do get the book and you have any comments or feedback, drop us a line. All right, guys, until next week, have a fantastic Easter. Happy Easter to all you and your loved ones, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.